Can introduce you and then. All right, so let's get started. Good morning. I want to thank you all for coming to the session presented by Jordan Dawes and Arvin Hamilton, who will discuss and demonstrate the features and functions of Flipgrid. For those of you who are attending the session online, feel free to ask questions during the session. You can either unmute yourself and use your microphone. We can hear you here in the room, or you can use the chat box. Please, if you use the chat box, ask any questions to facilitator. Jordan and Arvin are not monitoring the chat. With that, let's get started. Thank you, guys.
All right, well, welcome everyone who's here and online to our discussion on flipping the grid. In this, we're going to cover 3 topics. We will demonstrate the functions and features, what it takes to become familiar with Flipgrid. We will go over how to create an account and a tutorial and how to use that account. And then finally, we will interact with Flipgrid in a little demonstration at the end that will show you the student's perspective of using Flipgrid.
Okay, so we'll start off looking at what Flipgrid is and why you should use it in your course. Flipgrid is a free video discussion platform for your classroom. Educators post an initial prompt and then students respond with a short video. It heightens student engagement while fostering a fun and supporting learning environment. It also lets the instructor see and hear every student in the class, so it empowers and amplifies student voice, and students learn from their peers through feedback. Other features of Flipgrid are that you can embed it right within Blackboard in your course, so instead of students have to click on a link and then go to an external site, they can just interact with it from right within the Blackboard page. It's accessible, so all videos are automatically transcribed and closed captioned by Microsoft. So the instructors can go and edit the transcripts, but the students can't. And it's also got an immersive screen reader. And then it's also cell phone friendly, which we know that students like. So they can download the Flipgrid app on their phone and type in the flip code for the grid that the instructor provides, or scan the QR code and it will take them right to that page where they can upload and record videos.
All right, so Flipgrid lingo. Why is this important that we talk about it? Well, just like any social media platform, Flipgrid has its own language. So just like your Instagram, your Twitter, or your Facebook, all those things have language that's specific to them. So does Flipgrid. So understanding the lingo is very important in understanding how to use it. So the first thing Arwen's going to talk about today is grids.
So once you've set up Flipgrid and joined as an educator, set up your account, the first page that you'll always come to is the My Grids page, which you'll see on screen now. So the My Grids page is like your course homepage in Blackboard, where you see a list of all your courses. It's just the same on Flipgrid. You'll see a list of each one of your grids, and you would have one grid per class. And then within each grid, you can have multiple topics, which we'll talk about in the next screen. So if you had like on screen now, you can see there's management 320, accounting 525. And so for each class, it's just one grid. And then within each of those grids, there will be multiple different topics. And you can create as many grids as you want. And then within each grid, you can post unlimited discussion prompts, which Jordan will now talk about.
So we're going to talk about topics now. So when you click on your classroom from the My Grids page, you're brought to your grid details, so that specific course. So today we're taking a look at Accounting 525. So like Arwen said, when you create a topic, it pops up at the bottom of your screen, and you can create more than one topics. So these topics are like a specific discussion forum. So just like you put your prompt in the Blackboard discussion board, For module 1 or introductions, it's just like that. So this grid details page contains all your topics. So these are used to start your discussions. They can be text, images, GIFs, videos, or an attachment. So that's good to note because you can attach your netiquette guide to it or any other documents you may want students to look over and respond to. And you can have multiple topics in one grid like Arwen said. So from this page, you manage your whole course, just like from your Blackboard course page, you manage all your discussion boards. They'll all appear right here. So creating a grid creating a new topic is really easy. You just click the Add Topics page, or button, sorry, and it takes you to create a new topic. So from here, you can add a title, you can set a recording time. So these recording times can be anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minutes, depending on what you want to do. You're going to add a longer length of time if you want students to present something. And then below, you can put your prompt. They'll let you put in some little emojis and things there. So if you want to kind of captivate students and relate to them a little bit more. And then at the very bottom, you can add your focus. So your focus can be a GIF or an image or a video that you've prepared that you want to put in for students to respond to. So once you click the Create Topic button, you're then taken to the topic homepage. So this is where students will actually post their responses.
And at the end of this presentation, we've created a little walkthrough tutorial. So all the things that we're talking about right now, you'll see at the end. There's a little short video, so it'll go through each topic that we've discussed. I'll now talk about responses. So once instructors posted their initial prompt, the students then get a chance to respond. So that's when they record a video or upload a video that they've already recorded. And they do this from Blackboard. They click on, they'll see the instructor's prompt embedded within the Blackboard page. They'll scroll down and they'll see this big green plus button. They hit the plus button and then they can upload or record their video. Responses can be up to 5 minutes. And there's also some settings within the responses that the instructor can set when they're setting up the topic. They can choose if they want to allow the students to re-record their videos and edit them, or they can turn that off so they just get one opportunity. And students can do the same. When they've made their video, they can add little emojis or text over top of the video. So it's kind of like social media, trying to use emojis and text and likes, and I guess they're trying to make it fun.
Yeah.
So,
and also once you click the green button, it doesn't just appear as a camera and starts recording. It does a countdown from 3. So you have a second to get prepared. And if you want to cancel out and go back or want to restart, you can.
Yeah, it's quite user friendly. The first time I used it, I was worried, but it steps you through and tells you hit next and done, and then you give it like a title. And so, yeah, it's super user friendly.
And instructors can set how students respond. If they want to give a title to it, a selfie, they can add those things before a student's response will post. So, instead of, it pausing in the middle of a video for your thumbnail on it, students can take a selfie, which most are familiar with, and make it a picture that they would want to show. So the next thing we'll discuss is replies. So it's important to know the difference between a response and a reply in Flipgrid lingo, because replies are what take your discussions one step further. It allows users to add a reply to a response that was added to the topic. So that's kind of confusing to understand. So your instructor, as the instructor, you post a prompt, which is your topic. The students then post the response. So then the reply feature is used. If you see this red arrow here, you click the green circle with the text bubbles in it, and students can post a reply to a video. So the same student could post 2 or 3 replies if they wanted. A student can also reply to their own video as well. So if they say something and maybe they misquoted or whatever, they can go back and reply to themselves, correct themselves, or reply to another student that has replied to them. So this is similar to students replying to each other in the discussion board. So relating it back to what we already use, if you require students to respond to two peers in the course, they can still do that here on Flipgrid. So Arwen's going to be talking about what a co-pilot is.
So a co-pilot is someone who the instructor wants to help them manage the grids, edit the topics, moderate the videos, and provide feedback. The instructor can invite multiple co-pilots. You're not just restricted to one. And all you do to invite a co-pilot is you go to the topic, and then there's a little add co-pilot button, and all you need is their email address. And if they're not already signed up, they'll receive a link prompting them to sign up, which is free, super easy. And then once they've signed up and logged in, it'll show them all the grids that have been shared with them. But only the grid owner can add and remove co-pilots, and there is no way to change which educator or instructor who owns the course. So once an instructor, you know, like in Google Docs, you can share owners or pass it on. With right now in Flipgrid, you can't do that, but you can share it. So I think they've got all the same access rights as the owner of the grid.
So the last thing we'll be discussing is topic guest. So what's the difference between a topic guest and a co-pilot? Well, like Arwen said, the co-pilot has access to all of your grids that are in, or all of your topics that are in the grid that you made them a co-pilot for. So, but a topic guest only has access to the specific topic that you have invited them to. So here, this is a way to include a guest speaker on a specific topic if you want them to interact with students kind of in a one-on-one way, but maybe you don't want to schedule a Zoom meeting. This is a great way to do that. They only have access to this specific topic and they can't edit it. So they don't have any editing rights. But you do provide them with, or you do choose what kind of access they have. So if you turn the guest mode off, then that means that you're not inviting any guests to your class. Only your students who have that flip code can access it. If you keep guest mode on but turn allow recording off, then any guest that you give access to with their own specific guest flip code will be able to see it, but they'll just be able to see student videos. They won't be able to respond. A big blue snowflake appears to make it look like it's frozen. But if you have both of them on, then they can see it, they can respond to students, and it's kind of just a neat feature if you just want to, you know, invite people to interact.
So Jordan's created a little walkthrough tutorial here, and I think it's about 8 minutes long. So if there's any questions through the video for the people online, if you just message Nadeem and we can answer those questions at the end.
All right, we'll start it.
Welcome to this interactive tutorial over Flipgrid. Today we are going to look at Flipgrid. Since we have already covered some of the Flipgrid terminology, we are just going to jump right in. The first thing you're going to do is use the educator login. We recommend logging in with your EKU Google login. Once you're logged in, you're going to be taken to your My Grids page or the grid dashboard. Here is every grid that you will see. Think of a grid as a specific course. The first grid, we're just going to make up a class, Marketing 859. From there, you can select how students access their Flipgrids. You can use the school email, student ID, which we do not recommend, or make it public and PLCs. So you can share it with your network or the world or just your Blackboard classroom. If this makes you nervous, on the next page, you're going to see that we are able to add a password if you would like. Now, you're going to see your flip code below. If you just want to copy and paste this and put it in Blackboard, that's fine. But you also have another option of adding it to your Blackboard page. You can choose to embed it. If you have or use Google Classroom, you may use it that way as well. Now let's go to our grid. We are now in our grids page. So the first one, it automatically generates a say hello to Flipgrid topic. So we can easily edit this and make it into an introduction for Marketing 859. All we have to do is click the Edit Topic button. From here, we can say Marketing Introduction. So here is where you can type your prompt. You can add a focus. So if you don't like this one, you can delete it and select a different one. You're able to add all different types of media to the top. You can add a tip for the students. You can add an attachment. And you can change topic status. So you can see video moderation. You can change the status to active, frozen, or hide. If you hide it, students will no longer be able to see it or edit it. Then you can choose if students can reply to other students. I think this is a great feature that makes it more like a discussion board. And you can add an end date to it or a start date, whatever you choose. Here, students can add filters, stickers, drawings, and textures to their video. That's kind of up to you. Video title, the count. I kind of like that students are able to like other students' videos, so I'm going to enable that feature. I just think that ties in the social media aspect and kind of keeps it engaging. From here, you can decide how feedback is given. You can create custom feedback if you would like. So we're just going to update our topic. All right, and there we are taken to the topic page. Let's go back to our grid. So this is our Marketing 859 grid. We've changed it to introductions. So now maybe we would like to add another topic to this. Maybe we want to do this for a Module 1 discussion question. And we can take that and we can just add in what we want. Here you can change the recording time. You can go up to 5 minutes. So this is really great for students to present mini projects. You can add your focus. Once again, you can do a video. Some instructors like to give a video of them providing the question, the prompt, what they're looking for. I've even seen this used as instructors doing videos for interview questions. That way the students have to respond to the question in a face-to-face manner, but online. So we're going to create that topic. It gives us a new flip code. So this is a separate topic than your other one, so there are different codes. So let's go ahead and let's see how to embed this in Blackboard. So if we just want to hit this embed code button, we're going to go to our Blackboard course. We will click create an item. And we, in order to put this code in, have to hit this HTML button over here. Pop that in. Paste it, update, submit, and our Flipgrid is embedded into the Blackboard page. That way students don't have to leave. All they have to do is come down here and hit this button, and as long as they have a camera on their computer or can buy one, have access to it, they can do this easily. Now, students also have the option of an immersive reader, so it can read them all the text that's on the page, and it shows that we have 2 topics in this grid. So we can go to our module introduction as well if you want students to have access to them all. If you put an end date, then they'll only have access to the topic that they have. But they can see all their grids for Marketing 859 from this page, from this embed code, which I think is great. It gives them easy access to discussion boards as if you just had a discussion board in your left-hand menu on Blackboard. Now let's get back to looking at our grid homepage. So this is our Marketing 859 grid details page. We can share it just like we looked at. We have actions here, so you can edit the grid. That means the grid in its entirety, not the topics. We can add a co-pilot. Now, a co-pilot has the same access to everything that you do just in this grid. So if you want to add a co-pilot to this grid, say a facilitator, you want them to have access to it, you can add them. But they'll also have access to it in Blackboard as well. You can duplicate the grid. So say you want to save this grid for this semester and you want to make one for spring B. Well, you can do that. You just duplicate it. And when you do this, you're only copying the topics. You're not copying the videos. So all your topics and everything that you have in there will be duplicated and it will be its own grid. Then you can get notifications. You will, if you have a large class, you will get a lot of notifications in your email, just so you know. You can do team integration, you can export data, and you can delete this grid altogether. Now, if you go into the topic, you also have actions that you can complete. You can edit it, record a response, add topic guests. We discussed this briefly in our other slides. If you add a topic guest, it's just like adding a guest speaker to the class. You can have them interact with students. You can have them edit the topic focus, maybe give a little brief of what they want to be talking about. You can add it to the Disco library. That just means that you are adding it where other educators have access. So all of Flipgrid would have access to that. You can move the topic. So say you just want to create a new grid and you really like this discussion board question for another course and think it would be well, you can do that. You can duplicate the topic again. You can export data and then you can delete the topic. So Flipgrid gives you a variety of options for how to customize, and it's very easy to use. Once you know the terminology of Flipgrid, you are able to discover all of its functionality. I hope this tutorial has helped you a little bit understand Flipgrid.
All right, so now is the part where we are going to give you the opportunity to interact with Flipgrid. So if you are in the room and you have your computer, or if you're online and would like to follow along, we're going to go to flipgrid.com. All right, and at the top right, or sorry, the top left, you're going to see enter a flip code.
Quick question, can they download the app as well? Would this process work for an app?
Yeah.
Okay,
You download the
for cell
Flipgrid.
phone?
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm going to try to.
So you hit enter flip code. With the app, you can put the QR code in your class, or you can scan the QR code like right here. But for today, I have given you a flip code, and it is DAWS, D-A-W-S, and it's 1956. All right, and it will take you, and this, I just titled it intro, and I would like for you to select if it didn't pop up. So we have two topics on this grid, the Say Hello to Flipgrid and the Module 1. So the Module 1, I just ask you, what is your favorite color? And to respond, all you have to do is hit the green button, and you can create your account right now. So log in with Google. And like we said, we recommend logging in with your EKU email, using your Gmail. And we'll give you a few seconds to get that done.
And that Disco library that Jordan mentioned, that's it gives you like a load of starter prompts.
Yeah.
If you're an instructor looking to sit, you don't have to, it'll give you pictures, like it'll give you even GIFs to start with. So you can, there's like a whole library if you want to do a starter or like any topic, there's loads of starter prompts to get you quickly into it.
So if you want to go ahead and record a response, you just click the green button, and then it'll ask for your educator login. And from here, you can use I recommend using your EKU as a Google. And I guess we can give them a few minutes to respond, or anyone would like to.
I just downloaded it.
Blue.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's fine. Remember the code.
Oh, post video.
And also on your phone, it saves like the most recent grids that you've accessed, so you don't have to remember the code. So I logged in and then I logged out, but when I went back in, it came up with Jordan's one. And when I selected it, it like auto-filled the flip code.
So from this page, you can also view your hours of engagement that you have. So this could be helpful in just wanting to know if students are using your product. One of my grids has like 48 hours of engagement right now with 157 replies and responses, which I just think is crazy. So students are really commenting on it and giving the instructor positive feedback. Hey, I love being able to see your face and hear your voice. So she's getting some really great things out of that. And students are enjoying being able to respond to each other directly using video. And it's been a really cool way to do introductions. So that's one way that I've really used it in my classes. And the other way is for a general studies course. They're wanting to conduct interviews, but it's an online course. So how do you make it feel like you're doing face-to-face interviews? Well, where you see this GIF here, the instructors posted a prompt video asking an interview question, and they asked students to reply, so they didn't allow editing. And students had to reply directly using the big green button. So it would count, so they listen to their instructor, they hit the green button, and they respond to the interview. They have 3 seconds to kind of get ready for it, just like in person. And then they have up to 1.5 minutes to respond. So they have to pretty much use the things that they've learned in the class: eye contact, keeping your responses short and prompt to the point, not going off on a tangent in an interview. So Flipgrid's really been a way that they're able to conduct those interview questions without having to be face-to-face or do a Zoom meeting and so on. Did you respond?
No.
Did you respond, Steve?
I'm going to right now. Oh, here.
It's not showing.
So when you made your video to respond, you'll see that it asks for a title, then it will also ask you for a selfie image, so that's your thumbnail for it, and then you'll have the option to post it. And if you've been given the option to edit, you can go back and cut the video, you can add text, you can do a lot of cool things. We have a response, so I can show you quickly how this works. So Steven said, my favorite color, that's what he titled his, with a thumbnail image. You'll see that it asks
Blue, no green.
For a title. So you can see that there, and that's how it appears. So then using the green circle with the text bubbles inside, I can log in. There it is. And it will allow me.
You may not be able to do it
Okay.
with this, but give it a shot, see what happens.
I don't think it will let me.
Yeah. No.
But you would be able to reply. You'll see that it asks
Blue, no green.
For a title.
Somebody else can reply.
Yeah, I can. For a title. Oh, we can make it full screen. Oh, I'd reply. Just say, that's great, Steven.
Yeah, like,
Green is a great color. And green is
well, that's great, Stephen, but my favorite color is purple.
So now we can check and see if there's a reply on there. So we can see that our grid's gotten 4 views, and And we will see that it asks.
Blue.
Wait, you haven't posted here.
Is it instantaneous? It might take some time to upload it.
It's been pretty instantaneous,
Is it?
but if people are on there.
Okay, I'm submitting my video.
Oh, there you
Okay,
go.
so now when we look at our grid, you can see Arwen's reply to Stephen's response. You'll see that it asks
Blue, no green.
for a title. We can
Green
click.
is a great color. Green is a fabulous.
Oh, that's great, Stephen, but my favorite color is purple.
And we can go back. You'll see that it asks
Blue, no green.
for a title.
Blue, no green.
So all in all, that's a general of how students can use Flipgrid. And it's neat because you can see like what students have responded to them or responded to other students' replies. So you can kind of look at it and visually see, oh, that student's been, really active on the grid. So here, if you click on the engagement, you can see who the owner is, and you can see 2 topics, 1 response, 0 replies, and 4 views. So this grid has 25 seconds of engagement, and then it shows you your flip code again. So the last thing we want to do is ask if anybody has any questions about Flipgrid. Yes.
What about grading? How would you grade if you have 20 students? Can you see engagement by student, or how would you aggregate or collect them?
Yeah. So kind of what my instructors are doing now is, manually grading them, going through the roster, seeing what students have responded. You'll see their names, but right now Flipgrid is not integrated with Blackboard, so it's not actually connected to the system.
It does, it integrates with another LMS. But
Yeah.
Blackboard's not on the list
Not
for
yet.
now. Yeah.
So
So they do have that capability with other LMSs, but not Blackboard.
yeah. So hopefully in the next little bit, maybe we can get an integration if we bother them enough.
Yeah.
All right. Any others? Yes.
Quick question. I understand grids, I understand topics. Can you go over one more time focus? What is a focus?
So if we're looking at our grid here,
Yeah.
so we're in our module 1 topic. So the focus is this GIF right here.
Oh,
This is,
okay.
so here is where you can put a video, you can put a meme, you can put file for students, or so you could have a focus and a prompt.
Prompt, yeah.
Yeah.
And that they've got a whole load of these focus little video clips, GIFs, animations, still pictures,
Yeah.
just, I guess it's just for attention. But some of
Yeah.
them are quite funny or.
In one of my classes, they have to give a 5-minute elevator speech of what they would say if they were stuck in an elevator with someone interviewing them. So the instructor actually put a meme from an episode of Friends where Rachel's stuck in the elevator with someone. So that kind of related it back in a pop culture kind of way. And, a lot of students are familiar with Friends, so it kind of made it a little bit more lighthearted. And students like that stuff. They like to see things that they can relate to and engage with. Yes.
Could you talk a little about using this as a discussion board response to a prompt?
Okay. So if you are wanting to use this as a discussion board type thing, what I would do is in my Blackboard, I would set up a Flipgrid instead of a discussion board. You could set up a Flipgrid in the left-hand menu, like a button, and I would embed your your Flipgrid into an item on that page. And what you can do is with the different topics here, you can post your multiple topics and write your prompts out. So say in module 1, I asked them what their favorite color is. In module 2, I'm asking them to tell me how, something deeper, how their favorite color relates to them as a person, That's how I have started to use it. And you would set up your parameters, make sure you respond to at least 2 peers, put your netiquette guide on your discussion board.
And setting the dates is super important if you've got multiple, to stop them getting confused about which one to click on. You can set open and close dates, so then that grid will disappear to the student, but the instructor will still be able to see it.
Right. The important thing to keep in mind here is that it would be really great, you know, you could use it to replace discussion boards where students are reflecting. I wouldn't necessarily use it if they're just responding to a lot of readings and you're wanting them to use text to support what they're saying. That would be a little bit harder to convey in 5 minutes. And I think it'd be a little bit harder for the students to use it in that way. But, you know, if you're asking them to reflect on experiences or introduce themselves, you know, I think there are definitely ways to do that. And I think even, you know, prompts that are more rigorous, you can find a way to make them able to respond using Flipgrid.
That's how instructors, they've replaced some of their introduce yourself, you know, the introductory discussion board forums with a Flipgrid. And then once the professor gets used to that, they're going to try and implement it in other, you know, in other weeks where there's something that's relevant.
So a question from Shirley. So this would be kind of be good for lower level Bloom's taxonomy type of discussion boards. It wouldn't be for something very intense.
Yeah,
Or would it?
I think it depends, because students could present using this, you know, which is a little bit higher level. They could, like interview
type
discuss.
questions. That would be kind of higher level depending on, you know, what they're asked to do. So
I think it would really just depend on your prompt, like what, you know, and specifically what you're wanting to get from your students. I think face-to-face is great. You know, to me, sometimes I think it's easier to talk about, you know, to respond to it out loud than to type it out. But, you know, other students would prefer being able to write it. So.
Thank you. Do you know anything about ADA and section? Is it caption, auto caption?
Yeah, so it auto captions. It has the immersive reader on it. So the immersive reader is a really cool feature because.
Module 1. What is your favorite color?
So it
does this for every response?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then it automatically generates the captions.
You'll see that it asks
Blue, no green.
for a title to other students' replies, so you can kind of look at it and visually see, oh, I don't know why it's not doing that. Did you make yours black and white?
Yeah.
Oh, you added the filter on it, yeah.
I added a filter.
And Esther added a text.
Yeah.
That looks really nice. That's my favorite color.
Yeah, that's one of the things on their website. If you look, it says that they are, you know, trying to make it a fully accessible product by providing the transcripts and then the immersive screen reader. And I guess because it's a Microsoft product, it's kind of like when you use like OneDrive and then the, you know, the PowerPoint and the Word within that. So yeah.
There could be another use to this too, which is a lot of instructors like to do weekly videos. You can, you know, if they're doing
for the instructor to post.
Yeah, like if they're doing a weekly video, an introduction or a summary or something.
Yeah.
They can use this for that instead of having to do another application like Zoom or Screencast-O-Matic, and then the students can respond to that.
Right. Or even if, you know, you want to post feedback to students.
Like general feedback.
Like
for the whole
feedback.
class.
Like, hey, this week, you know, we really could have worked better on this. Let me know your thoughts on if we should make changes, you know, and kind of have it where students can, an open forum, kind of like maybe even a virtual office type situation where, you know, students want to post their questions and you will get an immediate email as soon as anything's posted if you don't change your responses.
And with bigger classes, if you've got a facilitator as a co-pilot, they could be monitoring just, you know, the one like virtual office Flipgrid where they're responding to students.
Right. That would be really neat because then you could show instructors like what exactly it is that you see.
How does Flipgrid make money? Are there advertisements that pop up or anything like that?
No advertisements.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's a great question. I'm not 100%
Well,
sure.
Microsoft owns it now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they bought them out.
I think they just consider it an educational
Yeah.
free
Tool,
software.
yeah.
Oh, because it.
Are there any other questions from online?
Final page.
All right. So if there are no more questions, we're going to conclude just giving some more information. So create your free account on flipgrid.com, download the app, whatever you choose to do. Then Flipgrid also offers a 30-minute getting started professional development. We've included the link there. And then if you have questions about Flipgrid, feel free to contact Arwen or myself. And even if you just want to know how to use it in your class, how you can create a discussion prompt, we're more than happy to help you. So reach out to us. This is something that we're excited about. And we're trying to get into our classrooms because students are really loving it.
Thank you, guys.